Welcome to the Shannon Atchison Show, real business talk for real life. I'm Shannon, creative business coach, digital product lover, and your strategy sidekick. I've built a business that fits my life, and now I help other women do the same. No hustle, no fluff, just smart, honest conversations about building a business that works for you. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show today. I'm so excited to have KariAnne from Thistlewood Farms here with me, and we're just going to have a little business chat and hopefully share some of the things that she's learned over the years. And we really hope that this is a great sort of episode to give you lots of ideas. So, KariAnne, make sure I'm saying that right?
You got it.
Okay, just making sure, because sometimes my brain plays tricks on me and I'm like, Anyways, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited that we are going to talk through all the business side. Literally, making money, just between you and I, Shannon, is one of my favorite topics on this planet. How to make money online.
I love that so much. So, okay, for anyone who doesn't already know you, because, lots of people that I know probably know who you are, but just in case they don't, give us a quick version. Who are you? What do you do? And sort of how did all your online stuff begin?
So my name is KariAnne Wood, and I am the owner and creator of a small media company. That's how I like to refer to it, Thistlewood Farms. And I've been doing this in this space for about 12 and a half years. And I started at the very, very end of 2011, December 7th, 2011, had no concept, no idea what this would turn into. It just wasn't, I was just doing it for fun. About 6 months in, I go to a conference that you and I have been to, Haven, which I loved. And Shannon, there were people there and they were making money. And I was like, whoa, wait, hold on. You can make money from this? And then the rest is history. That first month, I made $1,000. And now we have 28 different revenue streams and ways that we produce money for the blog and social media.
See, that's amazing. And I want to talk about those. I do. I want to get to those. But sort of, okay, so you started just for fun and then realized, I started a little bit before you did, but like in 2010. But at that point I had realized, people are making money with this, like between ads and all the things. And even now there's more options for how to make money with it. So did you always sort of plan to turn your love of sort of home and design and that sort of thing into a business, or that was just where you started with home stuff?
I look back at this journey and I'm like, there was a lot of luck, and I think that's super important that we make clear to everybody, because some of what you and I have both experienced is we were just very fortunate. We got in at the right time before the marketplace was very crowded, and but I had no idea. I mean, I was a mom with 4 kids. I had a very busy life. I was running a PTO, okay? Like I had big things going on. And, and I had 4 littles at the time, and they were just really taking a lot of my time. And so when I started kind of leaning into this whole like entrepreneurial person that I didn't even know that I was came out, and I'm so glad I let her out of the gate, because it changed my life. And so I really want to speak encouragement into anyone who's listening. First of all, it's never too late to start this. Like, people ask that question all the time. They say, is it too late? Is it market too saturated? I'm like, there is only one you in this whole world, in the way that you approach things and the way that you decorate your home and your unique perspective on things. That is it's unique to you. So it's never too late to start. But I also think too, so many of us have that entrepreneurial spirit inside of us, but we just forget about it. We don't let out. So I encourage, let that person out, let her shine.
It's so true. I think we get in the busyness, because when I started too, I was homeschooling 3 littles. So same thing, super busy. And it's in there. It's in so many people like that. So there's something you just said, and my brain totally just lost it. But the joy of age, right?
It was a pearl of wisdom.
It was great. Anyway, no, it was something I wanted to ask you, but I'll get there. Okay, so you have done sort of blogging, you've written books, you've worked with brands. I know you and I went on a brand trip like several years ago together to like Mobile, Alabama,
That's right.
right? With the brand. And then I noticed you do affiliate marketing.
That's
Okay, so
correct.
you have these 28 streams. So like, do they fall under certain categories or are they completely separate? Like,
Well, there's my top four,
yeah,
just to kind of talk numbers here a little bit, because I think that's super important. People are always like, you have 28, like how my top four grossed each of them well over six figures. So each
okay,
of my top four, so I have some that are very lucrative that I work actively every day. And then there are some that are very, very passive.
okay,
So, and I'm always shifting them around. And I think that's a super key
okay.
point because in this world that we live in, right now, the marketplace is changing. It changes every single day. There are Google updates. There are new blog things coming up. There are new social media that are being introduced. There's new social media tools that are being introduced. And I think pivoting and learning how to shift the revenue streams around is super, super important. So my top four that I really heavily lean into, of course, as you know, ads on the blog are
Right.
very, very lucrative. I'm with a company called Raptive that used to be AdThrive.
Yep.
Just one quick tip on that. If anybody's leaning into those, make sure you have your video player installed and lean
Ah.
into video because a lot of people, they go with an ad company and they don't install the video player. I'm like, oh, that is the top grossing RPM.
Okay.
The
Good
second
to
one,
know.
of course, hello, Captain Obvious, would be Amazon.
Okay.
My third one would be LTK. And my fourth one is brand partnership. So those are really my top four. Those are
Okay.
I'm actively working them, I'm actively doing them. But there is a host, a myriad, a plethora of passive income. So I
Okay.
have had product lines that are still out there. They're still generating
Okay.
revenue. I have 7 home decor books. That's a whole nother. I have a whole
Seven. Oh gosh.
way of layering in digital products into the blog to make money. There are so many, there's UGC content, there's so many other ways to make money. And sorry,
That's okay. No worries.
um, I put it on do not disturb. I'll turn it off now. Um, but I also think too that it's important to pivot. And so one I'm sure you're going to ask me this question, but one
That's okay.
thing
Go
that
for
I'm
it.
pivoting to is I'm doing live shopping. I'm kind of obsessed with it. Like
Yes, I've heard of
obsessed.
that. I,
Oh,
I feel like I'm old, but I've heard Gary Vee talk about it.
yes.
So,
Yes.
okay. So, what do you like about that sort of platform?
First of all, I feel like you heard it here.
Yeah.
2025. KariAnne predicts.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Live shopping is where we are all headed. So, currently, right now, a lot of ways that we share affiliate links is we share something that we love. For example, this incredible, amazing stand. Like, you
Right.
need one of these for your laptop, excuse me, for your iPad, for your phone. And I'm holding this up, and then I say, there's a link here that you can click. The thing that live shopping does is it takes the lack of interaction between consumer and really promoter, I guess is a good word for it. And they can ask questions. They can it's the
Okay.
immediacy of shopping. So QVC is having a heyday, but
Yeah.
the model for QVC and a lot of other home shopping networks is the live shopping model.
Yeah, yeah. It's so funny because I was like, huh, that is like that used to be reserved almost for like late night television, right?
Mhm.
Like the shopping channel or the shopping network or whatever. Like that's I know in the States it's QVC. In Canada, I think it's like the shopping channel. I think it is like that's been a thing for a long time, but I think that's sort of coming around in a different way, like you said, with the interactive part, because otherwise we're talking about things that we love, but then it's kind of static, right? We're like, blah, here's what we love. And people can't go, well, how does it fit? What does it look like? Right? Like, is the color true to what you're seeing? Like, I think that's a really neat sort of addition to what you're already naturally doing.
Well,
I,
and good thing, Shannon,
yeah.
I never met something I didn't like to sell. So like I'm kind of obsessed with it. Like I'm a shopper. I'm a
Yeah.
full time. I always say to people, you didn't need to go shopping because I'm here. I will go for both of us. I'll go first.
Right, right. No, that's great. I did think of what the question was, and it was sort of around like you are very you're very sort of vibrant and energetic, and you in your blog posts, and I'm assuming when you talk too, like on social and stuff, you are very into storytelling and like relating things that have happened in your life in the past and currently and recently. And I think something probably that's worked very well for you all along is your personal brand. Like more than anything, and just being here, I'm this business, I'm this entrepreneur, I have this website, which, you know, the website is very connected to you because it's your house. But then there's like your whole personal self is part of that in a personal brand. And I think with all those changes you mentioned, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so. But all those changes you mentioned, sort of Google changes, different things, I think coming back around to personal brand is going to be like a huge thing going forward too, right? Like it's not just this, you've done the SEO research on something, although that can matter too, but like not just that you've done the SEO research, but like your person in it. People want to relate to you. Like you said, there's only one of you, right? Like, does that make sense? Like, has it always been sort of a personal brand sort of focus for you? Like you're in it?
Well, and what's interesting is I'm a giant believer in this. I think I call it a brand story. So I think every single one of us should have a brand story. And what's ironic is I could probably ask you, because we have followed each other for a very long time. You know my brand story. So what I did was probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I came up with about 10 things that I decided I was going to lean into. So hello, Captain Obvious, blue and white. Let's go.
Yep.
That's one of my favorites. Of course, blue and white rugs is my other favorite. Red lipstick. Love a good red lip. This is British Red 350, if anybody's asking. And then I have, like, I love Judge Judy. Kind of obsessed with Judge Judy.
Okay.
And, I know.
Yeah, but that's a personality thing, right? Yeah.
That's right. And I like to read, so I'm always sharing organically books. I also like to play mahjong. That's another thing that I like. So, and I have a cast of characters in my house that I'm constantly introducing. And so what happens is when you lean into that story, so every single person that's listening here, I would say come up with 5 to 10 things that are uniquely you, and put that into a brand story and organically lean into that. So for example, if you like to read books, share books with an affiliate link, of course. If you like to play mahjong, share mahjong tiles, share the mahjong mat, share mahjong lamps, all of that. It's an organic part of your brand story. And so, and then what will happen is people will see things, like all the time people see blue and white things and they send them to me. And they'll be like, I saw this and thought of you. I'm like, thank you. And that is because
brand recognition.
Into that brand story.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, that really makes people sort of identify with you and feel like they know you too, right? Because you are sharing consistently those things that are uniquely you, but they feel like they know you then because of that, right? Like they send you they send you the blue and white rugs, like, because they know you.
And I think it's very important to be honest and authentic about those. Like, don't try to invent just because mahjong's popular right now. Don't try to be, I mean, unless you really like to play mahjong. But I'm saying people can sense immediately that you are not being authentic, and that is not cool. So they're going to want to know that you, like, I am an avid reader. I read over 20 books a month. So when I share a book, and I share a lot of them, I don't share because they're like, I'm like, that one wasn't very good. So,
yes. So I read a lot too. Yeah. Fair.
So, and books, there's a whole audience out there just for books. And so finding things that organically you like to do, but also resonate with your audience as well, and sharing those that's your best success against AI, I feel like, coming up.
Right, because you're a person, and so AI can say, hey, here's how to XYZ something, right? Like, I'm a teacher at heart, so that has been tricky for me a little bit because I like to break things down into step by step and teach them and whatever. And so making sure that there's still enough of like you as a person in what you're sharing definitely matters, because people will identify with you. They can hear the same thing. I forget what the number is, but like a gazillion things, someone can hear the same thing. That's right. And they'll identify with you and not the other person who said it, right? So like personal brand, I think, matters so much going forward in the next little while, especially. Yeah, I love that. Okay. So what is one thing maybe that you have tried that didn't work? Because it sounds like you've tried lots of things and lots of things have worked.
Yes, I have tried a whole bunch. Trust me, my list of things I have tried is longer than things that I haven't tried.
Okay.
Um, I would say one thing that I tried that did not work for me was TikTok. And
Okay.
I think but I think it's almost like when we try something, it doesn't work. What's our takeaway from that? What's our lesson?
Hmm.
Some people, what's funny is I had a consultation yesterday with a younger influencer, and she was on TikTok and she was saying how great and she was making all these affiliate sales, and I had to kind of brace myself like, okay, I don't need to run out and go beyond TikTok.
Yes.
I have a TikTok account. I
Hmm.
I do post things over there on TikTok, but for whatever reason, the content and the way that I share it does not resonate with the TikTok audience. And I don't think it's time for me to overanalyze that and lean into that. There are so many other revenue streams and other ways to make money. And I think sometimes what happens is we try something, it doesn't work, and then we get all caught up in that. We go down like this black hole, like, why didn't that work? No, my friends, bye bye, see you later. There's way other fun things to do that you don't need to be obsessing over something that doesn't work. And I think the reason why TikTok doesn't work for me is I produce content a certain way. And I think to resonate with a TikTok audience, I need to produce it in a different way. And it's a very steep mountain for me to climb. And
Right.
I did not put on my hiking shoes. So,
Yeah, no, that's fair. Totally. And I think I love that. I love that you're like, okay, it doesn't work. Bye. Let's move on to something else. Because I think a lot of us creatives sort of get in a rabbit hole in our head, like you said. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So your storytelling is such a huge part of Thistlewood, right? I think it's such a huge part of just you. I think the impression I get, was that something that you've always sort of been like when you were talking to people previous to the blog, like was that sort of story related too, or is that something that sort of grew more over time with the blog and all of it?
and then my friend, I've been telling stories since I was, as my grandma said, knee high to a baby. But I just love a good story.
Okay.
And what is very interesting is I can remember the first time that they ever said, tell story. Like I was
Mm,
sitting at Haven, the very first Haven. So I'm 6 months in, and I
yeah.
haven't really told any of my stories. And I have a library of stories, and much to the poor people that live with me that have heard the stories like 5 million times. It's those things. But I've got these finely honed stories that I've shared over and over and over again. And I was telling my friends, and we were sitting around dinner, and I was telling my friends, it was Heather and Vanessa from At the Picket Fence.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
And we were sitting there at dinner, and they said, "Why are you not putting these on the blog?" And I said, "Oh gosh, is anyone really interested? I'm there to do home decor. I'm not really there
Right.
for stories. Is this even a thing?" And the very first story that I ever put on the blog was a pancake story. It was all about, and now, I'm not a great cook, but I'm like way better when I tell the pancake story. Maybe we can
Right.
put a link to it because it is a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had shared that so many times, and I was sharing it with them. They said, "You put this on the blog." And I came home, and the next week I put it on the blog, and that's really where the story. So there's a whole story tab now
Mm.
on my blog for all the
That's
stories.
awesome. I love that. I love that it was from like connecting with other people, encouraging you to
Mhm.
do that too, right? Like you
Yeah,
knew you had those stories and you told them, but
yeah.
I love that.
And there's
Okay.
new stories all the time, new funny stories that come up.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is, sometimes I forget. Like I have my cornerstone stories, like, the day I got married and the day the twins were born and my kids and
Yeah.
but there's a few that along the way I have forgotten, and that's why the blog is so amazing. I go back, oh, I forgot
Yes.
all about that story. And so that's
Yes.
what's amazing about writing a blog, I think.
Yeah. No, it's true because you hold on to a lot of that stuff. So, um, just a question about that. So when everybody was sort of in the last few years, because you and I have been around for a while, so like blogs sort of started out, it was a little bit of stories, it was what we were doing in our homes and things like that. But then for several years there, it felt like until the last little while, it was like SEO, make sure you target keywords. Like, did you sort of go down that rabbit hole at all, or did you sort of stay with what was already working for you?
Okay, this is sometimes do what I say, not what I
Fair.
do.
Yeah.
So when I coach people and consult with people, I tell them to do SEO. But in my own little personal life, maybe not so much. I
Well, I'm not saying that's a bad thing at
No,
all. Like,
I can remember one time, Shannon, I'm not making this up. There was a whole Facebook, it was one of these private Facebook groups, and they were over there and they were discussing me. And they didn't know, maybe they didn't know that I was in the group. Like,
oh
I
God.
didn't know. And one of my friends messaged me, goes, "You are a hot topic of discussion in this Facebook group." And I run over there and they're all talking about, well, Thistlewood doesn't even use SEO. And can you believe it? And then they're putting my numbers on there and they're like, how does she get these page views with no SEO?
Oh gosh.
And I was like, oh gosh, like, wow. And I just got the popcorn out and like, and I never commented.
Watch the drama.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And I think to that point, I've always written the type of blog that I want to read. And I have actually, in the last 2 years, I've taken ads out of the center of my blog.
Okay.
I still have them, of course, the very irritating one that pops up on the bottom, and
Right.
the video ads, of course, and the ones on the sidebar, which aren't as apparent on mobile.
Right.
And I have seen zero decrease in my numbers from Raptive,
Wow.
and I have only seen an increase in my affiliate. So what I'm trying to do is say to people, hey, I'd rather have you clicking on these affiliate links than I would have you clicking on my ads. And so in a time when everyone's leaning into, I mean, sometimes you'll go to a blog and it's like, enough. You go over there and, Katy Perry's jumping up from the bottom, selling you fireworks and all kinds of things are happening with
Right.
ads. And if you go to my blog and you click out of the top and the bottom, you read it completely ad free.
Right.
But what happens is I get so many clicks because people do click out of the top and the bottom.
Mm.
You still have that video ad in there, but the rest of the time, it's just been something that I'm very passionate about. I mean, I have a message and stories, of course, like you said,
Yes.
that
Yes.
I want to communicate to people, and I don't want ads coming in the way of that if I'm going to lose readership. And so I think Google maybe rewards that. I don't know. I'm not an expert at any of that stuff. And occasionally I do write posts for SEO. I don't want to act like I'm, above it all. And I write posts for SEO for sure.
Right.
But I would say I write 5 blog posts a week. And of those, one, maybe 2 are SEO. And the other 3 are just for the joy of writing. And
Okay.
people, I think, hear that and see that. And it's really why I think people have stuck with me for so long.
Yeah. I think that's a little bit of permission for other bloggers who like to write and blog for the sake of writing. Not for the sake of writing, but because they like that medium, right? I think that's really not permission, but almost for them to go, okay, no, like put the focus where it should be. And there are other income streams. So if you love to write, you love to write your stories and things like that, but you also mentioned the video player for Raptive. So tell me about that then. If you start out writing a blog post, what videos are you putting in your video player then?
I only have 3 to 4 videos that I do seasonally. I change them out every quarter. And they're seasonal. So we're about to put the Christmas ones in there and coming up in Q4. And I don't change them per blog post. Now, one thing I have started doing is I have started embedding, this is not an ad, I don't make any money off of this, but it does help explain sometimes. I usually create a reel that goes along with whatever post I'm doing.
Okay.
And I have started posting those on Facebook and then embedding the Facebook into the post.
Okay.
An additional way of just showcasing a product or showcasing a tour of a house or something that is more 3-dimensional than the 2-dimension of the just blog post.
Right. Okay. And so are you running, like, are those long form videos? Are you posting them on YouTube too? Are they you're just creating them literally for that player?
They are a version of the long form on YouTube.
Okay.
But I typically, now YouTube has rolled out all of these amazing new things. YouTube is, I mean, if I could say one thing, lean into YouTube. Yeah. You heard it here first. YouTube. YouTube is completely restructuring the way it's doing things. If you get to 10,000 followers on YouTube, the world is your open to you. This incredible world of affiliate sales is open to you on YouTube. But those are usually typically videos that have been cut down to be a little bit shorter. So sometimes, depending on how long the person's on the page, they could get through 2 of them.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, because I mean, I feel like, because I'm with Raptive too, and I feel like almost they should tell us more to use video, right? Like there's not a clear, okay, do this kind of thing. So I've sort of just left videos up there that have been up there for years.
Yeah, It's a lot of goal. It's the thing that pays the highest, and getting rid of those literally. I mean, there's a little button you click at the bottom that you get rid of all, and people are like, thank you.
Yeah.
It's counter programming. It's like everyone else is selling, and I am selling too. I mean, don't get me wrong.
You are, yeah.
But I'm selling it in a calmer way, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, because ads get really jarring, especially since they're all moving now and all of that.
And people have a pop-up and, there's a lot going on, and people can get very overwhelmed very quickly.
Yeah, especially on the small screens, right? Like mobile is completely different than when more people were on desktop, for sure. So you also help other bloggers, right? Like you do consults and stuff like that. So what are you seeing with the bloggers who are coming to you now? Like, where are they sort of stuck with things? Is it just bloggers, or is it people who are sort of across all platforms, influencers, I guess?
I do everything. So I do corporate consulting too. So which is a great revenue stream idea for a lot of people. So there are a whole host of startups out there right now that are trying to market products for people like you and I that are creators, influencers, and they need someone to almost go first and test it. So I have a whole corporate consulting business where I go in and I'm your test. So I go in and I evaluate, I give them feedback on the products. But corporate consulting is something that definitely I lean into, and it's something that people like us, we don't think about. But so if you see a startup, I would highly encourage you, message the startup and say, hey, listen, I have a lot of feedback. I'm great. I've worked with other brands and startups before, and offer, pitch them. They just don't know how to find people like us, so it's a hidden revenue stream that a lot of people don't know about. But as far as individual creators doing consulting, I should publicize it more. I don't really.
I know you have a page on the blog, right? I know about it because I came and did one. I did one with you, for testimonials and stuff, right?
That's right.
And then,
that's right.
Yeah.
So I should remember, I do probably maybe 2 to 3 consults a week. So nothing is not my bread and butter. It is
right.
But I mostly do it because first of all, I love to teach. I'm kind of like you.
Yeah.
And I just love going to people's blogs or businesses and thinking up an idea for them. I've got it. Don't do this. I've got it. And people are like, where'd that come up with? I'm like, I don't know. It just pops into my brain. I think my brain just works like that. But probably the biggest challenge that I have seen very long answer to your question.
No, that's great. No, I love it.
Is that people are struggling to pivot. In other words, they've made a lot of money in the past with one revenue stream. And now that revenue stream is drying up and they don't know what to do. So let's say that they've always leaned into Pinterest, and Pinterest is driving tons of traffic to their blog, and they're making money from Raptive because of the pins. They've also done video pins now, where they're selling affiliates, and Pinterest has kind of lost its way a little bit, and I feel like doesn't really know where it's going.
Yeah.
And now Pinterest is completely dried up, and I'm like, okay, well, now we pivot and we do something else. So that's the biggest thing I've seen, is that they've done something for a long time, and now it's not making the money it used to make.
Right. And the pivot is hard because you sort of get stuck in that, okay, this is the only way to do it. I don't even know what other ways there are, right? And you need someone else to come and look at it and go, no, wait, there's all of this. You have no idea.
I mean, there is so many ways. It's just when I think I can't think of one more, I'm like, well, there's a whole other one that I didn't even think about.
Okay, so when you say startups, are you talking, this is just a sort of side question, it's not really are you talking tech companies, new email platforms, or
yes,
okay.
For example, I'll just give you a perfect example.
Sure.
I did corporate consulting for URL Genius when they very first started out. I did corporate consulting for a thing called AI alt text, which is like
Okay.
it's like a company where it's actually an amazing product. They come in, you pay for a certain number of credits, and every image that's loaded onto your blog, they create an automatic,
Oh my
uh,
gosh.
like, I know, and it's
Yeah.
it's like next level. They are next level. So what
Yeah.
happens typically is what happens, the way most of these come about, is I'm looking for a solution, or I hear of a solution that someone
Okay.
suggests to me. I go look at it and I realize, okay, this is gold. And if it's making a difference for me, but there are some changes I think that then I just reach out
Mm,
to them and I say, hey, I have this whole corporate consulting thing. I'm happy to sit down, book a session with you and just pour into you with tweaks and changes to make it more applicable to me. And
right.
then once I do it, they go, wow, that was really insightful. KariAnne really knew what she was talking about. Like, she's very insightful. And then they, typically book another session. Sometimes I've worked with them for, 3 or 4 years. So,
Okay. No, that's great. Because then that overall, I mean, that's great for your business. It's great for their business. But overall, that's great for like user experience and stuff
hmm
for the people who end up purchasing sort of that
hmm
software or whatever it is that you're doing. So I have a question. Like you have all these things and all these balls in the air. So like uh, I want to talk to you about like how do you manage your time and do you have a team that helps you with things?
Okay. Great question. Shannon. You're kind of next level. Okay. So, two-part answer. The
Yes.
first thing is, I have this whole thing in my brain. Well, I used to have it on paper, but now it's kind of in my brain. I have tiers of things that are important in
Okay.
in the world that we live in. Okay. So, for example, top tier absolutely must be done. I don't care if there's a tornado coming through the North Texas area, these items will be done. And one of those is blogging. So I have made a commitment to my readers, I have made a commitment to myself that, with very rare exceptions, I am going to write a blog post 5 days a week. It publishes Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday is a roundup post of all of my favorite things. If anybody is listening to this and they would like to be featured, I am more than happy to feature anybody. I love finding new blogs and websites. So that is a no deal. That's like, that has to be done. And then there are certain things associated with that have to be done. An
Okay.
email has to be sent out, certain social shares have to be sent out. Okay, those are kind of like, no, that, so when you're talking about my time, that's 1,000%. Then there's
Right.
another tier of things that, like, they're good and most days I get to them, but if I don't get to them, it's not the end of the world. And
Okay.
those involve, like, I try to post between 30 and 35 Instagram stories every day. I
Oh
try
my
to,
gosh.
I know, right?
Okay.
I,
So okay, so separate stories, like it's a whole arc of things, or like slides, 30 or 40 like
well, it depends.
individual.
I
Okay.
kind of let the Instagram take me
Okay.
where I will. So, like,
But yeah,
so like, like,
fair.
just as an example, I just got this super cute purse from Target. Okay,
Yes, that
so
is
when I
cute.
get off the phone, oh, look how cute.
It is
And
cute.
wait, Shannon, not only that, I know this is not part of the podcast, but look,
That's okay. Aw, that's so summery. I
I
love
know,
it.
right? I
That's
know,
so
exactly.
cute.
I was as excited as you. So when
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get off here, I'll do a post on the purse with the fun little tag. And then that might lead me to think, wait, I have another purse, or that might lead me
Okay.
to nothing, or that might
Okay.
lead me to, here's the grapes I'm eating today, or it might lead me to, oh,
Fair.
wait, it's yucky outside. What's the weather like where you are? I don't know. It's like my little, like, happy place, like Instagram
Yeah.
stories. I love it. And
Okay.
so, but if I don't get to all those stories, I release myself. I say, okay, you did what you had to do. That's
Okay.
I have pins that I do every day, but sometimes I'll go and pin older posts and check my analytics and put more things into circulation. That's if I get to it and I have time, that's an amazing thing. And
Okay.
then there's the top tier, which is like, well, if you're having a real easy day and you got tons of time, and things in that category would be like going back and reworking an old blog post. That would be like making new pins for some of my older blog posts, like things that. And sometimes I would say once or twice a month I get to that very top tier, but
Right.
having your tasks in tiers like that
Right.
releases you, because here's the thing about our job, you're never done. Like,
Mm-mm.
if you're listening to this and you think you're going to be done, you're not. Like you're
No,
never done.
never. Never. The list is always going to be longer than you have time for.
That's right. So
Always.
if you tier
True.
things, then
I like that.
that makes it just releases you. It just releases the stress. And
Right.
yes, I have an amazing team.
Okay.
We have about 5 people on the team. One of them is my husband who helps. He does all the accounting and all of that kind of stuff. I have an amazing kind of right-hand person. Her name is Dee Dee. She is incredible and answers my emails. She does Facebook for me. She does quite a few or she helps me strategize, all of that.
Okay.
I have a photographer named Kenna Lynn, who's incredible. I have Kristen Solarski, who you might know. She's
Oh, okay.
incredible. If anyone needs a process person, Kristen Solarski is incredible. And then I have a videographer.
Okay. That's awesome. No, it's good to know because, sometimes you don't know whether someone's doing it all by themselves. Obviously, you're the face of it, and that's how it needs to be. And what you love, judging by your Instagram stories. But yeah, sometimes you need help depending on how many, 28 different income streams kind of requires a lot, I would imagine.
Well, and I think that you have to, people always say, well, when should I hire someone or how do I hire someone? And 2 tips on that. Number 1, I always say, give someone else what you don't like to do. So if there's things, y'all have talked to me now for a little bit. You know, what does KariAnne like to do? She likes to sell and she likes to write. Okay. And by the way, she likes to read too. So all selling is my department. All marketing is my department. All writing is my department. And it's not AI writing. It's KariAnne showing up every day and truly writing. And that's a kind of a pact I've made with my readers. Things I don't like to do. I don't like to make collages. I don't like to post sometimes on other social media besides my beloved Instagram stories.
Right.
So those are things I've hired people to do. So find things you don't like to do and hire someone to do them. And the second thing is, if you're trying to figure out how to hire someone, making a Google form and putting it on Facebook or Instagram or wherever and saying we're hiring and having people respond is probably the easiest way to do that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I guess aside from having people in your life that are good at certain things, like your husband, right? Yeah, I have my daughter occasionally works for me depending on the time of year and her exam schedule on things that I don't like data entry for business stuff. And then we have an accountant that we hire for taxes and all of that stuff. So yeah, get rid of the stuff that you don't like. That's for sure. Yes.
Enjoy it. Have fun. The second this stopped being fun for me, the second I stopped waking up every single day and going, this is what I get to do, that's the day I will not be doing this anymore because it's too short.
Yeah.
When people say it wears them out, I cannot understand. I cannot wait to get off this podcast and sell you that purse.
Yeah, no, I think some of that gets bogged down in, I think, probably trying to do things that other people are doing that aren't suited to you and your personality, right? Like so is doing this and it's working well for them, so you should go and try that. And you're like, and it's like soul sucking, right?
Yeah, it's like TikTok.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've not done well with TikTok either. It just isn't.
But some people do amazing and like more power to them. Like I love that. We're all running our own little tiny individual businesses, and we have to run it the best way for us.
It's true. You have to build it for you and for your life. And even sometimes I feel like for the season that you're in, right? Like my kids, your kids are older, my kids are older. Like there are different things we can do now that we couldn't have done 10 or 15 years ago when we started, right? Because we had little kids and the hours and the time and the brain space was not the same. So I think sometimes seasonally you have to change things too.
Right. Oh, good point. Excellent point.
Yeah. Okay, so what advice do you give most often to bloggers or creators who feel like the industry has changed too much, right? Like there's a lot of people in a lot of the Facebook groups right now going, I'm never going to recover. It's never going to be the same. Like it's changed too much. And why can't we go back? Like, what would you say? Like, what would you say to those people?
I think, and this is going to sound like, okay, Pollyanna, I see you. But I just feel like you should find what sparks joy in you. I think what happened along the way, originally we all started with joy sparking. We all started with things that we loved. We loved to decorate, we loved to cook, we loved to do all this. And then somewhere along the line, it became a business. And once it became a true business with employees and payroll and people started panicking and people started doing things that maybe normally they wouldn't have done when they were doing all that joy sparking. They instead, I just invented that. I know that's a word, joy sparking.
Works.
But they started doing things that are wearing them down, and then they started looking at the bottom line, and they started panicking, and then when the panic came, because people can sense, it's coming through the screen loud and clear. If you're desperate and you're over there selling things because you're trying to make the bills or whatever, people sense it. If you're selling things because you're so joyful and happy and you found this amazing, incredible thing and you can't wait to share, then people sense that too. And so I would say to those people, trim whatever employees or things that are not bringing you joy. Go back to what brought you joy originally and figure out how to monetize that.
Right.
So you and I have been friends for a very long time. And I would say post 2020, I did not ever do affiliate links. Never, ever, ever. I mean, I kind of looked down like, oh, affiliate links.
Fair.
Too salesman-y for me. And then in the middle of 2020 and 2021, something amazing happened to me personally in that I lost 105 pounds. And so when I lost the weight, I know I'm still kind of all about
I love that. I'm so excited for you for that.
And so I every now and then a picture will pop up on Facebook. I'm like, oh, whoa, KariAnne. But I lost the weight. And in losing the weight, I discovered how much I love fashion and dressing up and getting dressed up every day and finding new amazing things and leaning into the latest fashion trends. And so I pivoted, and all of a sudden I started sharing. I mean, one day when, my husband opened the door and there were like, 47 Amazon packages outside, he was like, hello, I think we're going to have to figure out a way to support this shopping habit. And I was like, well, I could just start sharing shopping things. And I didn't do it because I was I did it to support my shopping habit, but I didn't do it because someone else told me to do it or someone else was doing it. I did it because I truly love doing it. And that's why I pivoted to that. So I feel like people have lost their way and they're so concerned and the gloom and doom. And then one person is sad and then that makes another person sad. And then all the people are just sad together. Yeah. I think shut out that noise, find what joy sparks you and lean into that and figure out how to monetize that.
Right. And if that's not because you were more strictly home-based, like home decor content-based before that. So if you need to, there's a lot of advice out there that says pick a niche. And I think that matters. I think the advice maybe that holds true is you picked a niche, you were in that, and then you pivoted. Like you became known for that, and then you pivoted to other things that you still loved. So it worked that way. It's not like you went, I'm going to talk about this today and this tomorrow and this when nobody knows who you are.
Does that
fair.
Make sense? That's 100% fair. And I would even say, let's just use reading as an example. So, right now I am at a time in my life where I do have more spare time. And when the kids were younger, I couldn't really read. And now I am an avid reader. Well, let's say that was really what was sparking joy, which it does spark joy for me. But let's say I wanted to lean all into that. And I had been home decor and maybe fashion. Now I'm going, well, then I lean all in and all of a sudden I'm sharing books. I'm sharing books I don't like. I'm having all these affiliate links. I'm contacting publishing houses. I'm asking the publishing houses, hey, I'd love to interview your authors. There's so many ways that if all of a sudden reading was like the whole focus of my life, I would start monetizing that in a way I've never monetized it before because that's what I'm doing. That's what's making me happy.
It's true. No, that's so true. And there's several podcasts where literally they don't take other guests anymore. They only take authors who are fed to them by the publishing houses, right?
100%.
Craziness. So that was just an aside because I happen to know somebody who does that. But okay. So, I think we talked about this a little bit when I talked about time management and stuff like that. But, obviously you make it look easy because you love it so much, but what does an actual work week look like for you? Like you get up and you're excited to do these things, but what do your work days look like?
Okay, so it's the same work day every day.
Okay.
So I get up usually about 7:30 and my sweet coworker, my husband, has a hot cup of coffee waiting for me. And I'm
Nice.
sitting there. But I drink a full bottle of water before to hydrate myself and hydrate my
Yes, good job.
skin before I get to the
Yes.
coffee. And then right about 8 o'clock, I typically start in for about an hour. So it's a solid hour of social media. I do Instagram. I usually have some sort of video that I share to Pinterest, to, all the social media, different places, TikTok, even though 5 people see it over there.
Yes, I know. Same.
And
Same.
so, poor TikTok. I don't mean.
I know. No, my kids are like, one of my daughters, she's like, Mom, you just have to get into the trending music and the this and the that. I'm like, meh. Nope.
No, right? So that's so from 8 to 9, right about there. Then I go upstairs and I get ready for the day, and I take it very seriously. I put on like beauty masks. I put like my little under eye patches on. I soak my skin. All my little, it is
Every day?
every day.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay.
Saturdays sometimes, no, but every day I'm up there
Okay.
trying out new beauty products people send me, leaning into it, trying to figure out what's working, what's not working. But I do it for me, not just because they send it to me. I just do it because so I'm obsessed now with this chin mask, which is like all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I know, right? And so it takes that whole process, and usually I'm listening to a book while I'm doing it, or I'm talking to like either one of my kids on the phone or my mom or somebody I'm double doing that.
Right.
And then I pick out an outfit, and I pick out an outfit with the sole purpose of selling what I'm about to put on. And I get dressed up every day. Like, the crack up is, if you saw me, you'd be like, are you going to tea with the queen? Like, what's happening here? But there's just something about getting up. It's not for everyone, and I'm not suggesting
I'm like a hoodie. Actually, I have a nicer shirt on underneath, but it was freezing in my office, so I'm like, ah.
No,
You love it.
This is no judgment on anyone else. This is just me. And it's because all of those years I never did this. And so I'm making up for lost time. All those years I would get up and just, I didn't treat myself to anything because I didn't feel sometimes worthy of, but that's not this podcast. That's a whole other podcast.
No, that's another one. You can come back and we'll talk about that later.
But anyway, so I'm just treating myself. So I pick out an outfit that I'm going to sell. And then I go, as soon as I'm ready for the day, I go and I film. I have this cool thing that attaches to the mirror, and then I can step back and I kind of say like, oh, you need this cute, like this is a cute jacket from Target, and like this shirt I just got yesterday from Target. And so I'm going to like promote all of these clothing items. And then I take that video, and that video now goes into a library. And so I can constantly be resharing it. Then I come downstairs. It's now about 10:30, and I treat myself. I have a little snack at 10:30 that I eat, and I go and I immerse myself in the world of what is going on in social media. So I go look at what other people are doing. I see, is there any holidays I should be paying attention to? Are there any great sales that I've missed? Because I follow like all these brands. It's on a separate account from my regular Instagram. But I follow all the brands to see what sales there are. Oh gosh, Anthro's having an extra 40% off. That's something I should be sharing on Instagram stories, But I immerse myself for about 30 minutes to kind of so now I'm looking all cute, eating my little pretzel snack with my yummy like water and lemonade, and immersing myself for 30 minutes. And I think that is such a piece that we miss. And then now it's 11 o'clock. And at 11 o'clock, anything can happen. Sometimes I'm filming other content. Sometimes I'm starting to I have the whole editorial calendar with all the blog posts and socials mapped out for the week. Sometimes there's a 2-hour chunk of time where I'm doing that. So really it's just general blog and social media work until I'd say maybe about 2 o'clock. Then sometimes I go out to coffee with my husband, but through it out, I'm sharing it on Instagram stories. About 5 o'clock, I come home and cook dinner, and we watch Jeopardy. And in there, I watch my tapes, Judge Judy too. And then,
yes.
And then right after that, I start writing the blog post for tomorrow. So I write the blog post every day, and I usually do it kind of. It's usually prepared and ready for me. I prepared it, put photographs or whatever, and it takes me about an hour to write the blog post, and then the next day it all starts over again.
It all starts again. Okay, so you said that little half hour where you're like immersing yourself, and that's so that you are aware of what's going on with the things that you that you sell, that you promote. That's what you mean?
100%. Well, what I'm doing is I'm looking for trends. I'm looking for
Hashtags.
hashtags. I'm looking
Yeah.
for specifically with brands who they're working with. Really, I recently started working with Quince. Well, I found Quince because I saw all these amazing people sharing it, and I was like, well, maybe that's a brand I need to order. So I ordered the
Right.
brand and tested it out and fell in love with Quince, and then kept promoting their products and sold a whole bunch of them, and then reached out to them, and that's one of my new brand partners. But I found that because I saw other people sharing Quince, and I thought, well, maybe this is something I need to test out. I try really hard not to get in the headspace of comparing myself with anyone.
Right.
I'm more doing it like I think of myself as an internet research person. Like, are people
Yeah.
using new tools? Like, is there a new tool I need to look at? Is there a new way of sharing things that I need to be looking at? And I'm not saying I copy any of those people. It's more like I take it in as information,
Yeah.
and then I spit it out in the KariAnne way of doing things. And sometimes
Yeah.
someone will do something I'm like, okay, like I'll give you a perfect example. A trend right now that people are doing is they take a clothes rack and then they just put like one clothes and they put another clothes and they put another clothes. They put a shirt, then they put pants, and they put, just
Yeah.
different things. Well, that's not really, I don't feel like my audience would respond to that, but that's definitely something interesting that I've seen lately that I think
Right.
maybe I should try that. But, so sometimes I see a trend and I think it's not for me and I discard it. Sometimes I see something, oh, that's an amazing way. I should lean into that.
Right.
I think the piece that we miss so many times is that we are not immersing ourselves in the marketplace and looking around us to see what's going on. We have this tunnel vision and we do our own thing. And definitely when it comes to sharing my own content and what I like and what I do have tunnel vision.
And creating.
But
Yeah.
I think it's very important to just see what is going on with brands, with other creators, with social media channels. I follow the social media channels over there. So maybe, Instagram's having an
Right.
announcement. It's just very important to immerse yourself in the marketplace
Right. And you dedicate like a half hour to that
with pretzels
a
and
day.
lemonade.
With pretzels and lemonade. So it's like a little event, right? Instead of, I think some of us get in the habit of like, oh, we're sitting down and we just scroll through, right? But I think then we're sort of taking in too much all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I get to immerse yourself in it for this period of time
Yeah.
for this purpose versus just sort of
But it
scrolling. And seeing
also,
what's happening.
I mean, with refreshment too, it's so much better because it kind of, I don't know, everybody knows in my house, okay, it's 10:30, like KariAnne have her, and
Yeah,
mean, they call it my 10:30 snack,
I love that.
and
That's
then
good.
other than that, I'm not really interacting unless I'm commenting back to somebody that's commented my,
Right. You're not consuming social media outside of that.
no.
Okay. That's really smart because I think we forget to limit it, right? I think we
Yes.
just let it sort of bombard
Well,
us
and
versus
I've kind of trained myself. That's why it's important to add brands in there. It's important to add social media channels, not just creators, because you can go down that rabbit hole of comparison very
True.
quickly, and
Mhm.
you look at it not like you're a researcher, like you're from Mars, and you're coming in
Right.
with your clipboard, and you're like, let me see how this
Yes.
whole internet thing works, So that kind of that take.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a really, really, really good point. So then we're getting close to our time. So what is really, I mean, you sound excited about all the things in your business right now, but like if there was one thing you could say was really lighting you up right now in your business, what would it be?
Amazon.
Amazon, really? Okay.
I'm kind of obsessed.
No, I'm not judging. That's wow. Okay. I think I'm just surprised. No, I'm not judging you, Karian. I love to shop too. Like okay.
I think because I just am finding so many solutions in
Mm,
life to things that's what's amazing about Amazon is it finds solutions for you that you did not even know that you had a problem. And I'll give you the perfect case in point. So
okay.
it's summertime and
Mhm.
I have like tennis shoes and I'm always when I'm going out the door, I actually put a big thing on my blog the other day. I was like, do you wear shoes in the house or not? And typically I don't wear shoes. Sometimes when I'm getting dressed up, and I'm sharing the whole outfit, I will. But a lot of times I'm trying to run out the door, and sometimes I need, if I'm wearing like a sporty outfit, I need like fun little tennis shoes that I just want to slip on. And I was like, oh, they just don't sell cute slip-ons. I went and looked, I couldn't find any. And then I found the perfect solution. These little laces that turn any shoe into a slip-on.
Oh, genius.
Who knew that was even a thing? I had no concept of that. I had no. So I was like, wait. So I have these really cute shoes from Bowden, and now it's 5 seconds. I think in my mind, well, there's a minute of life that I save.
Yeah.
I could put that into my pretzel time.
Right.
One more minute.
It's a little more me time. No, that's perfect. And you're right about the solution thing, because that's not something you were thinking you needed new shoes and you just needed new laces, right?
Right.
And
so
completely different.
Kind of you're asking what is exciting me lately is I'll think, well, I have a problem. And sometimes my problems are lame, and sometimes they're like overwhelming. There's all different types of problems, and I'm like, I wonder if Amazon has a solution for this, something I've never even thought of before. And I'll go over there and I'll be like, well, there's the solution, and I'll get it and I try it, and sometimes it's lame, sometimes it's not a good solution, and sometimes it's next level, and then the excitement that I have to share everybody, of course, sell it to everybody, this amazing solution that I didn't even know was a thing, is very exciting to me.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
I'm the problem solver.
You are. You totally are, in many different topics in many different ways, for sure, with a lot of fun on the side of that problem solving. Okay, so if people were to look for you and want to find you, where is the best place? What do you sort of have to offer people right now, sort of on the business side of things? Tell us about that.
Okay, so they can find me, of course, on my blog, thistlewoodfarms.com, and then on all socials, I'm either Thistlewood, most of them I'm Thistlewood, or I'm Thistlewood Farms. But I do have, if you've been listening to this and you're like, that girl has 28 revenue streams, like what in the world? How is she doing this? I came up with an amazing solution. I have a whole group. It's $17 a month, and every single revenue stream has its own video that unpacks exactly how I make money with these different revenue streams, because I don't want to be a gatekeeper. So I'm going through and we launch 2 videos a month, and you have access to the entire library. There's no commitment. You can stay for one time. If you're a super overachiever, you can pay $17, watch all the videos, and then resign from the group. You're more than welcome to do that. But and then once a quarter, we come together and I answer any questions that you have. And that's all $17 a month. But I also, if you are listening to this and you're super stuck and you're like, I need a revenue stream, I need an idea, what could I do? I do individual consulting where I think I'm relatively affordable for what stuff people are charging now. And I can look at all of your stuff, and I can't guarantee, but I feel very strongly that I could look at everything and come up with an amazing revenue stream that you might not have thought of before, a way to make money, a little pivot for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, KariAnne, for coming on the show and for sharing all this wonderful goodness with us.
It was so fun, Shannon. I wish you only the best success. You are next level, and I know this podcast is too.
Aw, thank you so much. That's it for today on The Shannon Atchison Show. If you found this helpful, follow the show and share it with a friend. And hey, if you're not sure what kind of business actually fits your life, take the free quiz at shannonatchison.com. It'll point you in the right direction. Thanks for listening. Talk again soon.